Hey there, and welcome to the Quick and Dirty Show with Nat and Marks, the best place to be for healthy living and weight loss strategies, tips, advice, and absolutely inspiration. Today's episode, we are talking about not meal planning, but meal prepping and how to make meal prepping not suck. Basically, that's what we're talking about. Marks is in the kitchen, not we. Marks is in the kitchen typically every Sunday morning for a few hours, and he makes a bunch of food to set us up for the week. It makes it so much easier when we have things that we can pull from throughout the week, and then he always makes extra, shove it in the freezer, that when we don't meal prep on the weekend, that we have things in the freezer always that we can just go to and just grab. So he's going to talk to you just about what he's been doing in the kitchen, but just to give you some ideas and to talk about the actual meal prepping and how to not let it overwhelm you. Because I know meal prepping or even meal planning can have such a negative connotation to it, but it's just that all or nothing mentality. People think that you have to go into the kitchen and spend hours upon hours upon hours doing all of these different meals when it's just not the case. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be this whole day of working in the kitchen. What I have found works, and what you'll see in the video coming ahead here, is that instead of doing meal planning and committing to a certain meal for every day, for some people that absolutely works. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work with me because I like to come home and go, you know what, I don't feel like sausages, I feel like a burger, or I feel like fish chowder, or whatever the case is. I want to have that flexibility. But boy, oh boy, I can tell you, it's really great when you come home and you can kind of pull different components or pieces and make it into a meal quite quickly, certainly way quicker than if you were to start a meal from scratch. And someone's at the door.
There's someone at the door. Okay, so someone was at our door, and now we're back. So there might be a little blip in the video here because now we forget exactly where we were and what we were talking about. But
that's life. Look.
This is our house.
At the end of the day, I think that it doesn't have to be this whole day in the kitchen that you need to just slog away. And at the end, you don't want to ever go back into the kitchen. That's not what it's about. And if there's one thing that I would leave you with, just pick one thing. Yes. If you did one soup, like there's a chicken, my take on a chicken frico here. Mm-hmm. If you just got up on Sunday morning and you did one big pot of chicken frico, if you don't meal prep or meal plan, whatever you do or don't do, just having that in the fridge throughout the course of the week to send your kids to school with, or to take to work as a lunch, that might just help you not go to get takeout for lunch while you're at work and you're eating healthier and cleaner. Or when you come home from work, if you're running late and you're like us and it's a total just a spin mode here because we've got karate and badminton and all sorts of activities, to just have some soup in the fridge that you can just warm up, it's a lifesaver.
Definitely. So, and also I just want to touch on that point that you said, that just choose one thing. And because it is that all or nothing mentality that will be your undoing when it comes to the meal prepping.
Yeah.
Because if you do spend hours upon hours one day and you're just like, I don't want to do this ever again, then you won't do that ever again. Start with one thing. Start there. One thing. So today there's going to be a bunch of little snippets and videos. There's the chicken frico that you made.
I started when you were still in bed.
Thank you. There's the roasted veg that you made. There's muffins, which I don't think made that on the video, but muffins are here. There's peppers because there's gonna be another video that we haven't made yet, but which is supper. What else, Marks? What else did you make?
I think that's it, right? Kind of it. I used some stock in the soup that I did from a roast chicken a couple of weeks ago that I made some stock with after the roast chicken supper, and so made a ton of stock, and so I fired that in the freezer. And it's so convenient, instead of using bouillon or whatever, to just pull out a block of frozen stock and thaw that, and there's your stock for the soup. So
it's good.
Yeah.
Because Mark's is going away this week, and so the girls and I are loving it, because we're going to be set up for suppers and for lunches. It's going to be amazing. So enjoy the videos that are to follow, and all of Mark's magic that he does in the kitchen. It's incredible.
Okay, it's early Sunday morning. Everyone is still upstairs asleep. I want to share something with you. I don't like to meal plan, but I do like to do meal prep. So maybe it's fear of commitment, but I find that with meal plan, I sketch it all out. It goes on the side of the fridge, and on Tuesday I don't feel like fish, and it says fish because I feel like doing chicken tacos or whatever the case is, as an example. But what I do like to do is have a bunch of prepared foods that I can interchange with other things or other carbohydrates or whatever. So let me give you an example of what I'm going to do actually right here now. I'm going away soon, and I want to leave Nat and the kids with a bunch of prepared food. So I'm going to do a bunch of roasted vegetables. So I'm going to do a bunch of roasted garlic. I'm going to do a bunch of roasted Brussels sprout. I'm going to put some cabbage, some kohlrabi, some rutabaga, and some onion in there. And that's all going to go in this bowl. A bunch of olive oil, some salt on a pan in the oven, convection bake, and that's going to come out in about, I don't know, maybe an hour or so. I'm just going to keep my eye on it. And then I'm going to use that in a soup. I'm going to use it in a pasta. I'm going to use that in a quinoa salad. Just chop up the veg and put it in a quinoa salad. And we'll probably end up eating it in maybe a pasta as well. Did I say pasta? And the other thing is that when Nat's home at lunch from work, she will often just grab a can of tuna and a handful of veg and have that with her lunch. So through the magic of video, I'm gonna pause this now, and I'm gonna get to my roasting, and I'll put this back together. Okay, so with the magic of video production, we have everything done here. I'm going to show you a trick too. So I cut the Brussels sprouts in half, lots of olive oil, so everything's nice and roasted. The cabbage is kind of, you know, brown on some corners, and like it's roasted veg, so I don't ever get too fussy. It was funny because as I was putting everything into the bowl, my oldest speaks up and goes, "Look at you, just firing a whole garlic clove just right in there." I said, "Absolutely." And the trick is put them in with the wrap on them, like don't peel your garlic. And that right there, look, it just kind of goes to mush. And I will use that in a soup like this. I will use that in a pasta like that, in the bottom of a pan with some, I don't know, chicken, shrimp, chorizo, whatever. Like that's golden right there. So that's the little trick with roasted veg. As you see, I've already done my soup, so I've used a lot of the roasted veg in that soup. That's kind of like my take on chicken frico. And we're also going to do it in a quinoa salad, which will be just super simple. Make up a big pot of quinoa. Use the trick. Most of the quinoa bags will say on the back, you can, for an authentic, what do they say? Like an authentic culinary, experience, whatever. You can toast the quinoa first in the bottom of the pan before you put your water in. That does work, and it kind of just gives it a nice little flavor. So make a pot of quinoa, fire some roasted veg in with it, maybe some spinach, a little bit of feta, and some dressing, and that's a great meal unto itself. Yeah, that's it. That's not meal plan, that's just meal prep.
And what are you doing with the peppers?
Well, that's for the next recipe. That's for a chorizo and shrimp rice bake.
That one's coming.
Okay, here's a real quick and easy meal prep idea. Take a couple of limes, cut them in half, squeeze all the juice out, put them in this dish, or your dish at home, or you can use this if you wish. Olive oil, some chili powder, and then all I did was I just cut up a fresh chicken breast, and that'll sit in there for probably until this afternoon, marinate, and then for supper while I'm away, Nat can fry that up in a cast iron pan over medium heat with lots of olive oil, and that will be your chicken tacos. Chop up some cabbage, some carrots, shred some cheese over top, and a soft tortilla or a crushed nachos will work, whatever you wish. There's a quick and easy for you.
We are back with the magic of technology and all that it can do and the piecing together, which is amazing. We are back and we are completely done with the meal prepping and meal prepping. And that is it. Do you want to offer any last words, advice, tips?
I think just keep it simple. Start with one. Wake up on a Sunday morning and make a soup, or do a batch of muffins. If you're gonna do a batch of muffins, might as well do a double batch. But you'll be amazed with just a little bit of meal prepping how much it makes your week of life, following.
Your week of life.
Just a little more easier when you can open up the fridge and go, oh, this is already done, and I can add this to a salad or a pasta, and just makes things a little more easier and smooths up some of the bumps in the road along the week. Excellent.
All right. Well, I know that we appreciate all of Marks's efforts in the kitchen and all the time that he spends there for making all the food and just fueling our bodies. So thank you.
Okay. My pleasure.
And so thank you so much for watching us on the Quick and Dirty Show today. Make sure that you like the video, that you subscribe to our channel, and while you're here, leave a comment. Tell us about your meal planning or your meal prepping, and tell us what your thoughts are about it. And if you do it, if you don't do it, leave a comment and let us know what your thoughts are around this, and if you had any aha moments from this video and what we do. That's it. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you next time on the Quick and Dirty Show.